Okay.
Stop.
Okay. Yay!
Yay! Okay, so we are
Hi.
live. Welcome everybody. Thank you for tuning in to our next broadcast. And this broadcast today is going to run from 8 to 8:30 p.m. and we'll be talking on the topic of discussing on the topic of self-care. Okay, so I'll hand over the mic over to Rachel, our president.
Hi everyone. Thank you for joining us. So today we're going to be talking about self-care and what we do for ourselves and how we can do that. So we have with us Kelly Reedy, who's going to do a small experiential with us. I'll let her introduce herself and tell you a bit more about that. Kelly?
Yeah, hi, my name is Kelly Reedy. I'm from Artworks and I'm an art therapist in town. Some of you may know me. I really believe in self-care, believe in making art as a therapist, and I'm going to do a small doodling exercise with you to hopefully inspire you to do this on a regular basis. So, yeah.
Right. So Huma, how do you take care of yourself? What do you do for self-care?
Oh, wow. Okay. The topic of self-care has just gained a totally different kind of significance in the past couple of months. I would say initially, prior to this COVID situation, when I would think of self-care, it would be more in the context of my, professional self. Mm-hmm. But now, since this pandemic, I think I am tackling it on not just the professional level, but also on a very personal level. Because all of a sudden, your life's taken a complete turn, and everything's just gone completely upside down. How do I look after myself or my emotional needs? Well, I think the key to everything, there's two things. One is communication and the other is balance. In the personal context, I feel that for me, it was really important to communicate my needs to my family. Because all of a sudden, there were space-related issues, there were attention-seeking behaviors, there was a lot of emotional sort of naturally demand. Being the mother, I have 3 sons and a husband who's used to travel very frequently, and all of a sudden everyone's at home. So I really had to set certain boundaries around myself and say, okay, this is enough. I can't, this is how much I can give, and this is how much I need for myself. So striking a balance in that regard. I have to say my professional self kind of went a little bit in the background. And I wasn't, let's say, naturally, the number of clients came down in any case because of the telehealth thing. So it wasn't as demanding, or it wasn't as, the caseload wasn't as heavy. But I also didn't push it because I realized that I needed to look after myself and again create those boundaries. And say that, no, okay, this is not the time for me to, just seek more clients, let's say. So I took a step back. Again, I think, so boundaries and communication, the two key things. And just one last thing as well, and communication with the self as well, in the sense that sort of checking in constantly with, what was happening inside my body. Because for me, I store a lot of the stress, as I'm sure many of you do, inside the body. And the first thing that, goes array is some, the body speaks, basically. Falls out. So constantly scanning the body for, for stress or for signals that it was trying to communicate something to me that, hello, you need to look into this matter or look into that. So basically, I would say this is what it was for me, striking a balance. Yeah.
Cool, excellent. Well, thank you for that.
How about you?
How about me?
Rachel. Yeah.
Rachel.
Yeah.
I think I've been doing a lot more art and a lot more meditation. I think since this started. just to kind of find that balance, you know, and taking it quite slow in terms of the caseload. Obviously, you know, half of it's not by choice, but, you know, making a conscious effort to allow that to be, you know, and accepting that this is what's happening at this time, and really taking care of, you know, the mental state of things. Yeah. What about you, Kelly? What have you been doing in terms of self-care?
Again, it would be the art making. I find that I'm getting kind of like waves of images that come up that it's like no matter what I had planned, you know, if I had something else that I needed to get done, I have to go do that image first. So it's almost like the images need to come out. And it's often, you know, right now with COVID, it's often these for me, I can't really tell sometimes where the anxiety is coming from. There's something in the air, and that seems to bother me even more than, you know, we know there's an illness and a virus and we know certain things, but some days I feel just more anxious in general, and that's usually then I need to go do something in the studio. So Sijin, do you have a regular way that you take care of yourself?
I think especially during this COVID period, I'm trying to kind of find pockets of spaces in which I can do a bit of doodling. I think usually that's like the most easily accessible kind of like medium or like kind of approach that I can utilize. Because a lot of times maybe let's say I'm at the hospital and then I'm having my lunch break, you know, and then there's a little bit of extra time after I've eaten, and so I just grab the materials because they are in my art cart anyway, right? So that I just kind of start doodling, you know. So that's kind of one way in which I try to do that, you know.
It's probably for all of us the best and easiest way is to do something just, you know, really spontaneous, on the spot with no expectations, because I do think sometimes we get stuck, even us as art therapists, to think I'm sitting down to make something, and that might stop us if we're tired or have a few minutes. Whereas doodling can just, you can get around that.
I took to sort of learning how to play the guitar. I mean, it's something that
excellent.
So I enjoy music. I love music. I love singing. But it's been a good kind of outlet for me. Not that I can boast about my ability.
You're gonna have to play something for us one day.
Not at all. But just for me, it's a way to self-soothe. I thoroughly enjoy that. But I was wondering, does any one of you feel pressurized to do more than you're doing at this point? Or, you know, like you maybe...
I think at the start I did. I think at the start, you know, the sheer shock of what was setting in, especially like it touched Singapore's shores. Like we knew it was happening outside of Singapore, but we carried on quite comfortably without too much disruption. And then when we went into lockdown, you know, the reality of it was quite shocking. But yeah, I think, you know, for me, it initially did feel like I wasn't doing enough. And then, you know, thinking about how that, reflecting on what that might mean.
Because I really had to pull my brakes and slow down. And as I slowed down, I felt that the time slowed down as well, which was actually not such a bad thing.
It was,
Because, you know, previously it felt like it was just slipping out of the hands. And it was nice to kind of step back and feel that somehow there was, I don't know, there's a saying in Urdu that we say there's a blessing in time, rather than just it being, you know, something that you feel you're not, it's just, like, you know, slipping away from you. And at one point I actually started to enjoy the slower pace.
It's quite interesting now that we're going to come out of it.
Temporarily. I don't know how it's going to be. Frankly, gotten used to it in a sense.
Interestingly, the point that you brought up, like slowing things down, I think I tried to be intentional and more mindful of kind of slowing some of my projects and my hospital work down. But I realized that one of the challenges for me is also kind of this having to both telecommute, so working from home, and also commuting, so sometimes like trying to juggle that, okay, like I'm at the hospital and then, okay, I'm only there half a day and then I've got to commute back to do telecommuting from home, because my studio is set up here. So that is kind of a challenge for me. Although thinking about that, like I've realized that the drives have been smoother, and actually it's kind of quite relaxing, kind of looking at the scenery around me.
The drives are amazing.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's just a little bit of like break for me sometimes.
Yeah, biking is much more fun in this period, I have to say. Much less traffic on the roads. So I've been biking very regularly, which is just great. Just getting out and
That's excellent.
getting good exercise and
So
ordering out a lot.
Ordering out a lot.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
I'm wondering if we can ask the audience, for any of you who are watching, what do you guys do for self-care? Has anyone got any input for us, like, to share? We're quite, we want to hear from you guys too. So while we wait for that,
There was a point that, as we are kind of waiting for those comments, there was a point that I was kind of thinking about in terms of like, for us art therapists, our artist identity, like comes from, like the various mediums that we practice in, right? So for some of us, it might be ceramics, for some of us, it might be painting. And I was just curious, like for the digital artists, what does self-care look like for the digital artists, I know that for myself, I kind of dabble a bit with video and animation. So I think one of the self-care things that I've been doing is actually filming my cats. It's actually quite therapeutic.
Okay.
So I do like these slow motion videos, and then, I'm just enjoying them, like maybe, leaping over obstacles or like eating or, very mundane stuff. But
Okay.
but you're like trying different mediums and stuff, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you're watching cats. I mean, there's nothing better than that.
Okay.
I found myself being drawn to markers. I think because they lend themselves to control. Possibly that's the reason, and also you can kind of do a more sort of repetitive kind of work and scribbling and lines. So I think I've been sublimating that way. Normally I enjoy paint more, but I feel that I've been using a more rigid medium just to sort of maybe ground myself.
I went back.
Kelly, carry on first.
Just quick. I went back. I am doing painting, but I went back to an old a textile piece that I let go a while back, and I'm stitching. And I know that the moment when I have a lot of tension, then this mundane stitching helps because I don't have to think. Yeah.
Exactly that.
Repetitive action.
Action, and something there for sure.
Okay. Do we have
We've had some comments. Yeah, we've had some comments come in. So like people are playing some online games over Zoom. So you kind of have like a communal experience, right? Social experience. People are crocheting. People are reading. People are making music edits. Yoga, meditating.
Yes. I've done a couple of breathing sessions. One of my friends is a yogi, so I've done a couple of those, and playing some very interesting quizzes on Zoom, actually.
Okay.
But Zoom can get very tiring. I think it can also increase your level.
Absolutely,
So it's exhausting after a while.
There's this new term out there, isn't it, called Zoom fatigue?
Oh yeah, totally. Yeah. So I'm not sure if it's self-care. Zoom is definitely not on my agenda for self-care.
Okay.
We've also got someone saying that they brought clay home to make pottery and finding time to make pottery for the family.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Okay.
And here's a nice way of kind of describing embroidery, painting with needles.
Yeah.
Anyone's been cooking or no?
Oh yeah,
I've been cooking.
Definitely cooking.
Really?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. I I've been focusing on eating, not cooking.
Okay.
Taking up a storm.
Okay. Yeah.
We've got Scrabble and word games online, quick draw and charades on House Party. That's a great game on House Party. Yeah.
The charades.
Yeah, the charades and
Yeah.
It's great.
I've been playing Scrabble as well. Yeah. Fantastic.
And people cooking when they can't cook. Excellent. One way to learn to start.
Yeah.
Okay, so while you guys kind of keep telling us what you're doing for self-care, as we go into, we're going to bring this to Kelly now to do a small experiential with us as something that we can take away, and we'll discuss it a little bit later. We'll come back to you guys.
Okay.
So Kelly, take it away.
Yeah. So as probably it's been another rather long day in a way, and we all want to thank you for joining us this evening. We as our therapists work really hard helping others to find balance and inner peace, but yet what about us? Sometimes we forget how to self-care. So tonight I want to help you let go of your resistance and perhaps your fatigue, and to quiet that inner voice that often at the end of the day says, I can't do one more thing or create something. That I want to guide you in a series of doodles and doodling exercises to help you play again, and to maybe remember how in our field that the process of making can be not only relaxing but healing. So Si-Chin has started the music. There will be music with this, but the first thing you need to do, I think you had a little list. You probably have a paper and maybe some tape. Tape your paper down to the surface because you're going to be using your whole body for this. And I don't have a camera tonight on my surface, but I'll be doing this with you, and you'll see that the body will be moving with the hand, with the exercises. So let that happen for you too. So put your tools near yourself. I've chosen charcoal, but as I said, it could be any drawing tool. Perhaps the softer the better for this exercise. So Si-Chin has started the music from Ketsa called Dreaming Days. And I'm going to guide you for a small portion of this, and then you'll be able to doodle an expressive doodle, and we'll come together at the end and discuss how we felt. So, all right. I'm going to guide you and then set you free. So choose a drawing tool. Choose a color. Pick it up with your dominant hand and find the center point on your paper. Let that hand and that tool rest on that center point. And now find the center point where your emotions lie in your own body, and put your hand there, whether it be your heart or your head, or a place where you feel there's a lot of emotions. Focus now your energy on connecting these 2 points as you use your hand and body to make inward spirals on your paper. So begin by spiraling in, thinking about going deep inside of yourself. Go slow. Are you pushing firmly or softly? What does this mean for you? Take your time. Feel that connection from one hand through your body to the center point of your emotions. Now take another tool, or the same one, in your non-dominant hand. Place those hands and tools in the center of your paper and begin to spiral outward in the opposite direction at the same time, finding that rhythm that connects you to your body through both hands. Don't be afraid to make big circles. Think about letting in more emotions. The difficult ones, the nice ones. Now I'm going to let you free to tune into yourself. Follow your intuition and fill that page with any movement using both hands. Again, use your body. Lean in. I know this didn't last long. We'll slowly bring the music down, and we have just a few more minutes perhaps to share with our viewers about this kind of exercise. And what I'm hoping that, again, perhaps we all doodle, but the idea with this exercise is to engage the body. And you could even do this on the floor, perhaps with old newspapers, especially if you really need to get some of your emotions out. It's, as we know, it's not about the picture, it's about the process. Mm-hmm. So I hope that, again, that we as our therapists and also for our clients, that we trust the validity of the feelings, whatever comes out through the doodles, and that we let this process unfold in its own time. And it may, you may do this for a long time or a short time on a scrap paper, or set it up in your living room on the floor where you can really do it with paint and make, a different kind of movement. Because I think it's only through really connecting with ourselves in this way, through art, through movement, through the motion of the body and the hand, that we can perhaps relax and recharge. So, yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Kelly.
Thank you for doing that, Kelly.
Thank you.
So, would you guys like to share your artwork? Anybody want to share a little bit? Okay, cool.
Can I start?
Okay.
Yes.
Look, I'm going to go very fast because we don't have that much time.
Yes.
So I store my emotions in my shoulders and my neck. Basically, my upper body is always stiff. So I started off imagining, one shoulder and then the other, and I'm really missing my masseuse nowadays. So when I started working with both the hands, I think the movement got really powerful with the outward spiral for me. And that's when I also started noticing my breath. and I felt that my body relaxed more, and the breath also got a bit more regulated. And interestingly, I started giving myself a massage with the markers on the point,
On the drip.
on the paper,
nice.
points where I
Okay.
actually, feel the stiffness or the pain, like
yeah.
not. So I'm actually visualizing my masseuse kind of giving me those. Yeah, I think
Okay.
Nice.
good. This has potential.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sachin?
Great.
This is mine. I actually deviated a little bit from Kelly's A3 size
Yep.
instructions because
Yeah.
I actually have a ton of equipment in front of me. So this is all the space I have.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
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 That's okay. I knew that would probably be the case. Yeah.
Mm-mm.
Yeah. And you went kind of freestyle at the end. I mean, that,
Yeah.
again, one can mirror actions, one can go opposite. It's there's a lot you can do. Rachel,
Yeah.
did you?
I did. So I'm missing the water tremendously.
Okay.
I'm desperate to get back into a pool.
Yeah, that's
yeah.
that's true. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm really responding to a lot of water needs, and just that motion of swimming and submerging into
Okay.
the water. So yeah. What about you, Kelly?
Yeah, well, again, it looks similar because I was saying, circles and spirals, but what I liked, I chose charcoal tonight specifically. It isn't always on my table, but I wanted that softness. I wanted that,
Right.
that it just would give and would be a bit, messy and kind of a relaxation thing. No resistance at all.
Yeah.
So,
I'd love to do it on a larger scale, actually.
yeah.
Oh yeah, like on the floor, right?
Yeah, on the
like
floor,
something
just
massive.
move the
Yeah.
entire body, maybe even
Yeah.
include the feet and the legs and
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I
that'd
think
be
this
At this point,
could
I'm
be.
body painting.
Yeah.
body
Oh.
paint swimming. I don't know if
You
you
paint
could
swimming, yeah.
something like that.
Yeah. To really use it as relaxation with body and mind connection, would be better, bigger on the floor.
Yeah.
But
sure.
again,
Maybe
Gotta
that
get-
could be our next thing.
Yeah, because at first when you wrote the instructions for us, I thought we would be, like looking for a wall behind us and just kind of pasting it on the wall and doing it.
Yeah. Well, that would be the best. Or if you can manage, you can take one of your walls at home and just and use that as your canvas over the next weeks and repaint it eventually when you don't like it anymore. So yeah.
Thank you for that, Kelly.
Okay.
So we've got a few more minutes. We'd love to
Okay.
see your images. We'd love to hear from you. How do you guys find that? Do you have, share your images with us. When you go onto Instagram, if you want to put them up and hashtag or tag us, art_therapist_ Singapore. We're on Instagram, so please tag us. And even Sachin, you were saying we can add images to this thread.
Yes. So
In
I think,
Facebook?
in Facebook, once this video is, as you're kind of like commenting on this or watching this, even later on, you can always just post your images up here, so that it's kind of more consolidated. That's kind of how I see it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So please share your images with us. We'd love to hear
And
from you.
any other ideas to take this further that you've experienced or that you would think of?
Yeah, excellent. So
Okay.
before we finish up, so we'll be coming back next week, and we'll be talking about something different. We'll let you know what that is, and we'll have different people on. So we hope to see you again next week. Guys, do you have anything else you want to add before we wrap up?
Do we need to remind the members to renew their membership and
Oh yeah, guys, renew your membership
and join ATAS?
and join us. Yeah.
Yes.
We
We'd
want
love to have you on board. Yeah.
I thought another point that I wanted to quickly point out was maybe in the comments thread, besides posting your images, maybe if you have any interesting articles, that's related to like what we talked about, self-care or doodling. Like I actually have one that is kind of a study done by Drexel on, on the impact of doodling, coloring, and free drawing. So I'm going to post that up later on.
Excellent.
But feel free to post some of these articles so we all get some references and learn from one another.
Excellent.
Yeah,
Cool.
that's
Thank
nice.
you.
Yeah,
That's a good idea.
that's
Yeah.
nice. Okay, great.
All right,
Okay.
guys.
So I think
Okay.
we are coming to 8:30. Yeah.
Yep. So we'll see you all
Okay.
next week. Yeah. Thank you for
Okay.
joining us.
Thank
Thank
you.
you for
Yeah,
joining us.
thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay,
Bye-bye,
Thanks, guys.
everybody.
Bye.
Yeah. Bye. Bye.